Good morning, everyone. It's 9 o'clock. I have a cup of coffee, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I have brought you downstairs this morning so you can see all of the beautiful snow that we have. Seriously, it is beautiful, but in the middle of April, I'm a little bit tired of it, so I would be happy to move on and bring on spring. That's what I'm waiting for. So today, I had to ask for a little bit of feedback on what I should talk about, and Gloria was nice enough to say that she would like to hear a little bit about budgeting. So that's what I want to talk about today. And the first statement that I'm going to make is something that might seem a little bit counterintuitive, and that is that a budget can actually allow you to do more with your money. The reason I say that's counterintuitive is because a lot of people think that a budget is designed to limit you. It tells you what you can't do, what you can't buy. It stops you from doing things with your money, and I absolutely disagree with that. I'm going to explain why in just a second. First, let me introduce myself. I'm Debbie Hatch, for those of you who are new, and for those of you who aren't new, welcome back. I have been helping people with money and retirement decisions for over 20 years now. So let's get back to why I say a budget isn't to stop you. A budget can be to help you do the things that you want to do. However, it will also give you a snapshot, a picture of what your current financial situation is. Because if you don't know where your money's going, it's very hard for you to manage your money. So the budget is going to allow me to say, not now. It's going to allow me to say, yes, I can do that. Yes, I can buy that. But if only I change something else. So that's what it's actually going to be doing for me. And here's the thing, right? I don't believe that we need to get into all of the details and the nitty gritty. And what I don't want you to do is to become paralyzed by the analysis. And sometimes that's what people do. It's just overwhelming. There's too much for me to try to learn all at one setting. So I just won't do anything at all. No. Okay, I want to keep things super, super simple. And I talked a little bit about this on Monday. The first thing that I want for you to do is figure out where all of your money's going. Figure out where all of your money's going. So remember that I told you, just sit down for 2 weeks. You don't have to commit to this for the rest of your life, but for 2 weeks, sit down and write every single penny that you spend. I don't care if that is that you bought some $2 item this morning or you bought a $5 item this afternoon. Write down every single thing that you spend for 2 weeks so that you can pull it out at the end of that 2 weeks and go over it and be honest with yourself about where your money is going. So if we're talking about budgeting, that's still going to be the first step, right? Identifying where my money's going. So I keep my list for 2 weeks. Then I'm going to sit down and actually start creating a budget for myself. Keep it simple. There are a number of free apps that you can download. Ones that I can think of right off the top of my head are Mint. That's a really good one. There's another one that's YNAB, which stands for You Need a Budget. Or you can get a piece of paper, you can get a notebook, you can use an Excel spreadsheet. Literally whatever works for you. And as I start to put together my budget, I'm going to sit down and look at that list that I made. Here's where all of my money has been going. And now I'm going to also add to that all of my monthly expenses. So every single thing that you're paying for, you have insurance payments, you have loan payments, you have your rent or your mortgage and your car payment and whatever, your water, your heat, your utilities, every single thing that you're spending. And just write it down. Again, don't get too complicated. Don't make it too fancy. You just need a list at this point. Write down what you're spending every month and how much you're spending. Now, you might have to do a little bit of math to get to a monthly amount. Let's say that you're buying something and you're buying it twice a week, okay? So then how much are you spending twice a week? And we know that there are 4 weeks in a month, so I multiply my weekly amount by the 4 weeks to get my monthly amount. By the same token, if I have something that I only pay every couple of months or every 6 months or maybe once a year, then to get a monthly average, I'm just going to take that total and I'm going to divide it by 12 because I want to get it into a small bite-sized chunk so that I can manage instead of just looking at the year. We look at the month, we set goals for the week. So another thing that I want you to do here is don't trust your memory. Don't just sit down and write down, I think I spent this, I think I spent that, like this is normal, whatever. No, get out your bank statement, do a line item audit of it, write that stuff down, get out your credit card statements, do a line item audit, write that stuff down, okay? I want you to have factual numbers because this is not going to be a really good exercise for you. It's not going to be a really good tool unless you can have really, really factual numbers. So I'm going to write down everything that I'm spending. Don't forget things like taxes that are coming out of your paycheck. Maybe you're paying for your insurance premiums before you get your paycheck. So all of that outlay of money needs to be annotated on your budget as well. Not just you got the money and then you went and spent it here, but also these things were paid for right out of your check. Or maybe you had an automatic deposit that's paying this bill or paying that bill or whatever the case may be. Okay, so I wrote down this list on one side of my piece of paper or my Excel spreadsheet, whatever. And then on the other side, I'm going to write down my money. Okay, then I can subtract my expenses from my income. What's the difference? That difference is money that I can now spend on things that I might choose to buy. That's money that I can save for my emergency fund, or maybe pay some extra towards my bills and pay those down a little bit. Or that money is money that I could then decide that I'm going to save for my retirement. What if when I subtract my expenses from my income, I don't have any extra? What if I have a negative number? I need to find a way to fix that. And again, by taking the snapshot, now I know I have a problem. So how can I fix any shortfall or get more money at that bottom line? I can either decrease my expenses or increase my income or do a combination of those things. So as far as decreasing the expenses, one super easy way for you to do this, after you've written your list, so I'm spending money here every single month. Now I want you to go back through that list and I want you to make a couple of annotations, okay? If it is a monthly bill, like your rent, your mortgage, your car payment, your insurance payments, things that you have to pay every single month, then next to that, you write a B or indicate in some way that that's a bill that you have to pay every single month. If it is something that you're paying every month, but that fluctuates, so I'm having to have heat on in April because we have a snowstorm, crazy, or your water bill, or something that you have some ability to drive the change in price monthly. Your utility bills, maybe you're going to shut off your lights or something like that. So next to those, you've got your monthly bills, those were your B. Next to your utilities, you can write a U just for your utilities. And I want you to look at this list from a perspective of what kind of things do you need to pay for? What kind of things do you want to pay for? And what kind of things are you paying for that maybe you don't have to and you don't really want to either? You just had this money seeping out of your budget. You didn't even realize that it was there until you made this comprehensive list, okay? Wants, needs, maybe debt replacement or debt repayment, and then your discretionary spending. Now, I've got a problem. Right? I don't have any money left at the end of the month, or I don't have as much as I want left at the end of the month. So what is the biggest category from that budget that I can control, that I can have an impact on? If we're talking about bills, utilities, discretionary spending, where can I make the biggest change? What do I control? And the answer is my discretionary spending, right? So this is where I get back to saying, I'm going to Starbucks twice a day. I'm spending $5.11 every morning and every afternoon. But now I realize that I want to be able to buy this. I want to be able to save that. I'm trying to find some money in my budget. So I'm not going to Starbucks once a day. I'm going to cut back to going only once a day instead of twice a day. I save $5.11 a day. And if I'm only doing that Monday through Friday, that's going to give me an extra $1,300 that I could then put towards this thing that I want to buy or put in my savings or whatever. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so once you've made your list, then look at your discretionary spending. Look at the things that you are spending money on and identify one. Again, keep it simple, right? We're taking baby steps, only one at a time. Identify one thing that you're going to stop spending money on, or you're going to start spending less on. You do that for a couple of weeks, and then you identify one more thing, and you do that for a month, and then you identify one more thing. Okay, so discretionary spending is the thing I control the most. Then, the utilities. I can have some control over because I could decrease my consumption. For example, the things that you plug into your wall draw energy and go on your electric bill even when you're not using them. So one thing that you might do is just go through the house and unplug the stuff that you're not using and see how that impacts your utility bill. Maybe you turn your heat down 3 or 5 degrees. Maybe in the summertime, you're going to be turning your air conditioning temperature up 3 or 5 degrees. So you have some control over those utilities, but not to the degree that you did on your discretionary spending. And the hardest one to change are the bills. Now, if you can identify more money, so you cut back here and you cut back there, and now you got this amount of money left over at the end of the month, one thing you can do is pay some of those bills down. If you have debt, you can pay that debt down so that your monthly expenditures are going down. But likely, unless you're going to be refinancing your mortgage or moving to a different place to decrease your rent, likely the bills are whatever the bills are, and that's going to be a need that you're going to have to pay. So I try to stick to my 15 minutes or less in my live streams. I don't want to turn this into an entire webinar, but I hope that that gives you some things to think about, and I hope that you will actually take the 2 weeks to write down where all your money's going, and then the 30 minutes to sit down, make your list, expenditures, income, identify 1 or 2 things that you can make a dent in, you can make a change to, so that you can identify more money to save for retirement or pay off this or that or buy this or that or whatever. Let me know if this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, please. I'd love to engage with you. I'm doing nothing but sitting here drinking coffee this morning and working on my computer. So let me know. Keep your coffee strong. Keep yourself safe. Stay in touch.